ever wanted to go back before there was smoke?
Tony Stewart lights them up.
Or the Rainbow Warriors?
You guys are awesome!
Before safer barriers or restrictor plates? When the king ruled?
When the Petty Blues flies under the checkered flag, winner of the 15th annual Daytona 500.
And the Silver Fox ran wild?
And David Pearson wins the Motor State 400.
Well, come on, we're going back in the day. The show was Car and Track, and the man, well, that was Bud Lindemann.
This will be a hot 30 minutes. We'll be ready to go in 60 seconds.
In the late 60s and the early 70s, Bud was the only place to get your racing fix. Take it away, Bud.
A door-to-door, go-for-broke, rip-it-up style of racing.
And suddenly, the Alabama air rings with the sound of power. They're wound up now and flying. Look out!
You see, back then, only Bud and his cameras caught all the action.
We're down here in the great state of Georgia.
Michigan International Speedway.
North Carolina Motor Speedway.
Now I'm giving these races a new twist. We're going to watch some of these heroes of the golden era.
David Pearson, Bobby Allison, Dale Yarbrough, Richard Petty, Benny Parsons.
And gain some knowledge of the times. Yep. We're going back in the day. In this episode, we've got a date with the lady in black. I'm not talking about dinner and a movie. I'm talking about Darlington and the 1975 Rebel 500. Back then, Saturday Night Live made its debut as Gunsmoke fired its last shot. The kids all screamed for skateboards, pogo sticks, and big wheels. So let's check out these larger-than-life men behind the wheel as we go back in the day to 1975. Darlington's a tough racetrack. You're lucky if you get out of there in one piece. There's a lot of action in this race as we go back to 1975 for the Rebel 500. David Pearson starts from the pole, but who knows who's going to be in victory lane when it's all over with.
South Carolina, in the month of April. The place to be is Darlington. And the name of the game this time is the Rebel 500. Every driver has different feelings about Darlington, but the one thing they all share in common, they have great respect for the old granddaddy of all super speedways.
This 19th annual running of the Rebel 500 drew the fastest field of late model stock cars and the finest drivers in the nation. These facts, coupled with near perfect weather, were responsible for a great crowd. David Pearson had the fastest qualifying time and starts on the pole in the Mercury number 21. Buddy Baker in his Army-sponsored Ford number 15 starts alongside David. The two cars moving up to occupy the second row are number 43 Richard Petty and Darrell Waltrip in the Chevy 17. Today, the old granddaddy sports a clean new face. The entire track was resurfaced. It's smooth, wide, fast, and always tricky. Suddenly, it's that time. The pace car pulls out. Engines thunder out of the fourth turn onto the front chute. The green is out, and this race is on. David Pearson proves that his fast qualifying time was no fluke as he hurls the Mercury number 21 out in the lead. Buddy Baker is running second. At the end of the first lap, Pearson is followed closely by a bevy of beauties. Buddy Baker second, Darrell Waltrip third, Richard Petty is fourth with Benny Parsons holding down on fifth. Here's a Darlington Express right down the back chute. These boys are playing for keeps. It looks like they're trying to roll that new asphalt up and put it right back on the truck.
You said it, Bud.
Look out, front chute. The race is only 10 laps old and the first caution light is lit when Rick Newsom loses his car back in the fourth turn and spins it all the way down the front chute, ending up against the inside guardrail. That was the first one of the race. And here at Darlington, you can bet it won't be the last. The crew will have to pull the fender out to give his tire a little rolling room.
Did you see that?
Meanwhile, the pace car brings them around. The green is out. They're gone again. The yellow came out too early for many of the cars to pit, so the leaders remain the same. Pearson in front, Baker second, Waltrip third, Petty fourth, Parsons fifth. David has everything working on that Mercury, including the cat on top of the sign as he begins to stretch the rest of the field.
That's a classic Bud line.
There's the first smoker of the day. It's the Chevy 11 driven by Cale Yarborough. He just blew the bottom out of that engine, gets down on the apron, and heads for the pits. A very disheartened Cale Yarborough climbs out of his racer. When you're all keyed up to run 500 miles and your car lets go after only 15 laps, it's kind of discouraging.
Well, it looks like Cale Yarborough's done for the day. Let's see what he does with all that free time.
There aren't too many weekends when Cale Yarborough has the time to wax his family car. But when he does, he uses Blue Max. Blue Max is easy to apply, and Cale can count on a deep, rich shine that outlasts repeated detergent washings and protects against road debris, weather, and corrosion. Blue Max, another fine product from Max Incorporated, part of Ashland Oil, a growing worldwide company.
Hey, welcome back to the 1975 Rebel 500. That's what they look like when they're riding. They're like, do I need to make it?
With the necessary pit stops made and all cars back on the track, the pace car leads them around for the restart. Pearson still holds the lead, but now Petty is second, with Donnie Allison running third. With the new rubber acquired during their last pit stop, these lead cars are flying. Richard pushes David harder into every turn. Number 88, Donnie Allison, is a close third. He's a hard charger and begins to work on Petty for that second place spot. That was Rick Newsom's second go-around of the day. He developed handling problems in the Ford after hitting the guardrail on his first spin out. Rick avoided a yellow flag by staying on the infield grass and out of the traffic. However, just seconds later, Bill Champion in the Ford number 10 blows his engine down the front chute. With oil all over the track, the caution comes out and the action goes to pit row. Bill no more than gets his car parked behind the wall when half the field comes screaming in. 17, Darrell Waltrip goes for rubber all the way around. Bobby Allison for fuel. Buddy Baker, right side tires. The Wood brothers give Pearson right side rubber and fuel. Same thing for Petty, plus a clean windshield. Stops averaged about 20 seconds when the jacks dropped them and all cars took off. And every once in a while, the race down pit row can be as exciting as the one on the track, like this. Pace car drops off, it's Pearson that leads them down for the restart. Petty is second, Donnie Allison third, and watch him put the rush on Richard. Down the back chute, Donnie explodes his Chevy number 88, and when they arrive in the third pocket, he owns the second place spot. Petty is now third, with Buddy Baker holding on to fourth. Allison is really running strong now as he tries to close the gap on Pearson. But at 155 miles per hour, the turns look mighty skinny here at Darlington, so most of the passing is done on the chutes. Donnie Allison is having much difficulty trying to find a place on the track to pass Pearson. Down the front straight, it looks as though he may try and drive right through him as they run bumper to bumper. The yellow flag is hoisted again, this time for Randy Tissett, who popped a valve in his Chevy number 74, lost it, and spun out in turn 3. Fortunately, he was able to keep his car low on the apron and out of traffic. So he wheels it back to the garage area, and the crews head out to clean up the track.
Well, we're almost halfway done with this one. Looks like the whole field's bounced off the wall sometime or another. Well, let's go back and finish it up. 1975. What a year.
Dave Marcus in the Dodge number 71 did not pit on this last yellow, and consequently is the new leader as the green flag falls. David Pearson's Mercury number 21 is now second. On the restart, he was a little further back in the pack, but he's closing fast on Marcus. David dives low down the front chute to pass Marcus and regain the lead. But now Petty and Waltrip are on the move. Petty has been closing on Marcus at the rate of about 3 seconds a lap. Now he's moved up to within striking distance. There he goes. Richard uses the same groove David did, the low one, and put the whammy on Marcus to take over second. When Petty was tied up behind Marcus, Pearson was able to stretch the pack a little. But now Richard has the Charger wound up tight and slowly closes on him. Suddenly, Petty has a new problem in the form of Darrell Waltrip in the Chevy number 17. Down the front chute, he stands on it, screams past Richard, and now the Tennessee Traveler is 2 and going for 1. On the 119th lap, Buddy Baker is the first of the front runners to pit under the green flag. His car has been overheating, and Bud Moore and the crew find a radiator leak. They plug it, give him fuel, tires, and send him back out. It's a long stop, eating up about 47 seconds. On the front chute, Waltrip has not only caught Pearson, but he passes him to take over the lead. His Chevy is now the car to catch. He's proven he can run with the greatest. The Chevy 17 with Waltrip aboard continues to stay out front. David Pearson is running second, Richard Petty third, Donnie Allison fourth. Bobby Allison is holding the Matador in the 5th spot. Just as Pearson dives into the pits, everything breaks loose in turn 2. That was Richard Petty entering the second turn. The right front tire blew. He couldn't hold it. The Dodge spun and then slammed into the wall. The pace car is out quickly to line up the rest of the field. Under the yellow, Richard brings the car around the track, into the pits, and heads behind the wall. But the Petty crew never learned how to quit. They swarm all over the car with tools and torches. It's a short caution, and the remainder of the field comes down for the green flag and the restart, minus Richard Petty. Bobby Allison leads all cars into turn 2, but he's actually running third, down 1 lap. David Pearson holds the lead with Waltrip second. On the 177th lap, Dick Brooks brings the trucks more forward into the pits. His crew discovered a cracked cylinder, and that's all it takes for Dick to climb out and to put the car behind the wall. In turn 1, there goes Allison. Donnie Allison in the Chevrolet number 88 came into the pocket a little too hard and just flat lost it, spinning all the way across the track down onto the infield grass. His tires may have had just a few too many laps on them. The yellow was out instantly, and Donnie takes this opportunity to pit for fuel and new rubber. When they come down for the restart, it'll be Pearson first, Waltrip second, Benny Parsons third, and Bobby Allison fourth.
The show was car and track, and the man, well, that was Bud Lindemann.
There's the green, and they're gone. And they're going to run them till they break. Look out!
Take it away, Bud.
Down the back chute, Darrell Waltrip is back in second place and very discontent. He wants to lead and begins the charge on Pearson. Benny Parsons in the Chevy number 72 is third and in the same lap with the leaders. Bobby Allison, Buddy Baker, and Donnie Allison are fourth, fifth, and sixth, down one lap. Down the back straight, Pearson high, Waltrip low. They split around another car, and Darrell comes out of the chute with the lead. It's catch-up time for David. On the front straight, he tries Darrell on the low side, but can't quite make it. Tucks his Merc back in the draft. After many laps and some major body work, Richard Petty brings his restyled Dodge Charger back on the track to check it out for handling. After a couple of slow laps, the hoodless horseman wheels his mount into the garage area to park it for the rest of the day. He hit the wall hard. The front end was too far out of line to bring the car up to full racing speed. Pearson has been working Waltrip over down every straightaway. Now, right in front of the main grandstands, he tries the low groove again. This time he does it. In turn one, David has the lead. Ooh, look out! G.C. Spencer just blew his Dodge number 49 all over turn one. The caution flag is out once again, and here's your chance to see some of that frantic pit action, Southern style. Are out, so is the green. This time the front runner is Benny Parsons in the Chevy number 72. Pearson is second, Bobby Allison in the Matador number 16 is third, and still down one lap. Shades of Daytona. It's another Parson-Pearson battle. Both cars are wound to the limit, and David is starting to close. On the front chute, Pearson chops down low and moves up alongside Benny Parsons. In the first turn, they're side by side. He can't make it. Look out, David's loose. Never before, in a lot of years covering the NASCAR circuit, have we ever witnessed the first and second place cars going out of a race simultaneously due to a crash. But as I mentioned earlier, Darlington is loaded with surprises. This was another. The Wood Brothers crew greet an on-foot and very dejected David Pearson. Some criticized David for trying too hard. Benny Parsons was not one of them. Driving into the sun may have offered a problem. The turn was slick due to oil from blown engines, but David gave no excuse, other than the fact that he felt it was the time to pass. Benny was determined to hold the lead. And after all, isn't that what racing's all about?
But I couldn't say it better myself.
Bobby Allison is the new leader in the Coca-Cola Matador number 16 as all cars fly under the green flag, and it's a very short dash to the finish. Darrell Waltrip is second, Donnie Allison third, and the crowd is driving them on. Darrell tries Allison high and low, but with the end in sight, Bobby has the Matador flat out and right in the middle of the groove. All three cars are very evenly matched. Donnie Allison in the Chevy number 88 is third and working on Waltrip for second. The white flag is out. One more lap. This crowd is delirious. Can Bobby do it? Down the back chute, Waltrip punches the Chevy hard to charge Allison again. In the third turn, Darrell is on him, and Bobby tries desperately to stave him off. Donnie closes. This threesome is glued together and going for a blanket finish. Here they come. Watch it. Bobby Allison does it. In an absolutely spectacular finish, he fires under the checkered flag, winner of the 19th Annual Rebel 500, thus putting the Matador in victory lane. After a fantastic effort, Darrell Waltrip takes second place with Donnie Allison third. Fourth spot went to Dave Marcus. In victory lane, Bobby found out that the win was worth over $15,000. He not only beat one of the greatest fields in stock car racing, but he won out over Darlington. And that alone will be worth many a pleasant memory.
Well, looks like the Lady in Black took her toll on almost the whole field. Bobby Allison won in the Matador, and Darrell Waltrip runs second, showing a glimpse of the champion he'd soon become. Well, that's all we have for this one. Join us next time when we go back in the day. All right, bud, give us that line you give us every week.
So till next week, drive carefully, won't you? All the pros do. And bye-bye.
Hey, ladies.